Now you've got a new article out. DEI is a corporate bust. This is published in National Review. Great article, by the way.
Thank you.
And you say corporations that bow to DEI pressure may soon find out they can't afford it. Let's start with the idea of what DEI is. What's it stand for? Where'd it come from? That sort of thing.
Sure. So officially, the acronym is diversity, equity, and inclusion. And it's been kind of a hot topic politically for a while now, but it's sort of made its way into corporate America as well. And the problem with it is it's a diversity that's only skin deep. It treats everyone who looks a certain way, assumes that they think the same way, or they have the same experiences, or they vote the same way. We just saw in the election that a very diverse coalition of people voted for the winner. And so it gets implemented.
Which is contrary to what we've been told is, well, if you're a woman, you have to vote for Harris. If you're black, you have to vote for Harris. I mean, in fact, President Biden actually said that. He said, if you're not voting for me, you ain't black, kind of thing. He said that to Charlemagne, the little G God, on his podcast. But which is crazy, because I think Vice President Harris, a lot of people referred to her as a DEI candidate.
Many did, and we saw how that worked out for him. So it's
because there's no diversity between her and Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden and all. I mean, that was a very left-leaning convention that they had with the Beyoncés and all that supporting Taylor Swift and Oprah and all that left-leaning. But their goal or their messaging was, well, we have a certain number of Filipinos, we have a certain number of black, we have a certain number of India, and that's not what the American people are looking for.
No, and it's based on the assumption that because you're a member of that group, you all think the same way, you all vote the same way. And the results prove that to be false. And so DEI in the corporate sector, in HR departments, is kind of making the same incorrect assumption that, for us to be profitable, more productive, that, we need our workforce to look a certain way, from whether that's in the C-suite or the boardroom or the rank and file employees. And so it's based on that same faulty assumption, when the true diversity that is beneficial is diversity of viewpoint. That you want people from who look at things from a different perspective. When you have those different perspectives, in the boardroom, you get, different ideas that sometimes conflict with each other. But that creative conflict is typically where good solutions come from.
It would also be good for the newsroom. It would also be good for higher education. It would having diverse viewpoints means you're able to stop and look at things. But that is the exact opposite of progressivism as it's being forced upon us. For example, I think of COVID. I would like a diverse viewpoint on COVID. I wouldn't want everybody to say, this is the only solution. Everybody take a shot, everybody wear a mask, everybody stay home from work. I want scientists to be able to say, wait a minute, have you thought about this? Or maybe this should apply here, because they silenced any diversity, really.
Certainly. And that, the diversity of viewpoint is what a lot of times it does get silenced. But that's healthy in a corporation, in a culture, in a political environment. The answer to speech that you disagree with is more speech. It's not to shut down the speech you disagree with. But as these DEI programs have been implemented in corporations, the results have not been what was promised. And like
what were the results that were promised?
A lot of these companies have sort of bowed to pressure from certain activist groups like the Human Rights Campaign, who survey companies on a lot of these issues, and the only way to get a good score is if you do things exactly the way they want you to, with the promise of this is what's good for your company. The results haven't borne that out, and so at ADF, we have the Viewpoint Diversity Index, where we score companies on how they treat differing views within their companies, which does lead to, as I said, like healthy conflict, creative solutions, and so it's sort of our response to these other surveys. And we're not trying to make companies conservative. We're trying to make companies respect the diversity amongst viewpoints amongst their employees, their customers, their shareholders, their vendors, all parts of business.